What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new video. So today we're taking a look at some of my personal favorite scrub pythons and a type that I believe is super underrated in the hobby, also very underrepresented, that being the island type southern scrub python, so the islands of Aru and Kei. I only have a handful of these animals in the collection, and truly that's because they are pretty scarce in the hobby in general, anywhere in the entire world, but they are extremely beautiful and animals that I definitely could not see myself not having. So we'll take a look at them today, kind of explain to you guys what makes them unique and special, and of course, show how beautiful they are. All right, so here's one of my female Arus. She is a very beautiful snake. The Aru scrub pythons are, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful, if not potentially the most beautiful of all of the scrub pythons. They have a much different pattern than the rest of the scrub pythons do, kind of that almost speckled look. Oftentimes, to people who are unfamiliar with Aru scrub pythons, I almost say they're like an orange and purple diamond python with their pattern. I think is a pretty good representation of how they look. But Aru Island is off of the southwestern coast of mainland Papua New Guinea. It's essentially directly straight south of the Bird's Head Peninsula. And it definitely is a locality type, so to speak, of scrub python that is more in line with the southern type animals, physiologically speaking, morphologically speaking, but very different in a lot of ways, primarily that of color and pattern. Oftentimes, people will mistake these as potentially being an island dwarf species of scrub python. That is most certainly not the case. They obtain the same size as all of the mainland localities do, which you will see here in a little bit. This girl right here is about 6 years old. I've raised her up from a baby, and she is absolutely gorgeous. Really one of the higher colored Arus that I have. They come in a wide range of different vibrancies and different shades within their color spectrum, which is relatively limited compared to some of the other scrub pythons, but in my opinion, one of the absolute best. All right, this here is one of my males, and he was very nice to just shed out for us right before filming the video. But as you can see, in contrast to that female who I just showed, a little bit darker overall, still really nice contrast on that kind of diamondy speckled pattern throughout the body. He's the smallest individual in my group. He's probably just shy of 8 feet long, but hopefully by next season, he'll be really ready to go for breeding. I only have 2 males, so he is very important as far as getting diversity of bloodlines going into this project. Obviously very beautiful as well. And as you're going to see later on when I show the other male, a very different appearance from him as well. Like I was saying before, they don't have as much variability in them as, say, barnecks do. But even within their somewhat limited color palette, you do get quite a variety of looks within the locality type. And that amazing orange coloration is just so hard to beat. His darker shade lends to a good amount of iridescence on him as well, which is always super cool to see. Here's another one of my females. As you can see, this girl is a lot darker than the other 2 that we have looked at so far. I got her at the same time as that first female, 2019, under a year old, more than likely. And she was super dark when I got her. We'll throw a picture up on the screen of her as a baby so you can really see just how dark she was. She has lightened up significantly over time, but it's still pretty dark compared to the other ones. Actually, when I got her, she was sold to me as an oxabil or a highland type animal, which was actually funny because I asked the importer if it was an Aru. He told me it was an oxabil, and it is most certainly an Aru. A good example of showing just how diverse their color spectrum can be. She's a much more dark orange to brown, but really high contrast with the speckling diamond pattern, much higher contrast than the other 2, definitely having to do with how dark she is. So a really beautiful snake. One I really hope I can get babies from one day. To replicate this dark look would be really special. All right, so this is my third and final female Aru scrub python, and she is by far the biggest of the 3. A little bit more on the typical looking side. I would say she's not quite as beautiful as those other 2 females, but that really is just kind of all kind of within a perspective because Aru scrubs are so beautiful. But she is a big girl. She is one of my largest females, probably my second largest female in the collection right now. She's 11 feet long and a pretty decent sized snake. Quite the head on her too. So obviously, definitely not a dwarf type of scrub python. And she has pretty good body weight as well. Not overweight by any means. I've had her as long as those other females, except just she was a little bit bigger, a little bit older when I acquired her. She is a really amazing snake. And just, you know, it really is cool to show just how variable this locality type is within the given parameters of their color spectrum. Just a beautiful snake. So this is my bigger male Aru scrub, and he is probably the most special animal in the group. I'll throw a picture up on the screen of when he was younger, but he's almost kind of like a hypo. As he has gotten older, his color has dulled out a little bit, but only very marginally. He's just really, really amazing. But just overall, that really nice kind of hypo-ish wash to his coloration. And he's a big snake too. He's over 10 feet long, but he is just really a phenomenal snake, and one that hopefully will end up being a dad one day. And I really would love to be able to carry his genes on for generations to come. All right, last but most certainly not least is this guy right here. He is my Key Island scrub python. You guys may recognize him from the video I did a little while back, the overview of the entire scrub python complex. He's definitely a bit fired down right now, but that's what these guys will do sometimes. They go through phases of being a bit brighter and then phases of being a bit darker. He's definitely in a darker phase right now. But Key Island is a small island, smaller than Aru, just to the west of Aru. They're very, very similar snakes with some distinctions. The main one being in their color, where the Arus have more of an orange wash to their body. These guys have more of a yellowish gold wash to their body, even though I have seen some pictures of Key scrubs that are a bit more on the orange side. The main thing that people mistake these for oftentimes are the Moluccan scrub pythons. I've even seen Key Island scrub pythons on some lists being listed as Somalia clastolepis, which is definitely not the case. They, while having some phenotypic, from I guess a color standpoint, similarities to Moluccan scrubs, physiologically they're really nothing alike. Main difference is in their head and body structure. These guys have much more slender heads, more akin to the classification Somalia amethystina, where Moluccan scrubs have really large, beefy heads when they're adults. These guys are longer, more slender, really very similar physiologically to the Aru scrubs, and just color-wise resemble Moluccans a little bit more. The other main difference between these guys and the Moluccan scrubs is that the Key scrubs will have these really cool silver markings down the sides of their body. That is a trait that is not present on Moluccan scrub pythons at all, and is present on almost all Key scrubs, one of the things that really sets the two apart from each other. But they are, at this point of the locality types that are in the hobby worldwide, they are the rarest for sure. To my knowledge, this is the only individual in the United States of this locality type right now. There are pictures floating around in Indonesia that I've seen every now and then of some more of them in captivity, and then some others have hit the States historically, but to my knowledge, this is the only one that is here at the moment. So I'm very hopeful to get a female at some point to be able to reproduce this incredible locality type, but Key Island scrub pythons are truly amazing. All right, everybody, thank you for checking out that video. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe here on the YouTube channel, like, comment, share, hit that notification bell so you don't miss another episode. I drop a video here every single Friday on the channel. I also have a podcast on the Trap Talk Reptile Network called Cush's Corner, which is live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time every single Wednesday. I am on Instagram at Scrub Shepherd, Stephen Cush on Facebook, and then also Cush Reptile on Morph Market. All of the links to those are in the description below. With all that said, thank you guys for checking it out, and I will catch you all back here next week for a new video.